Cal Antonio is both an incredible character on and off the pitch, from crashing a Lamborghini in a snowman costume to, thumping his pelvis at the new Tottenham Stadium to basically bashing our own player. I mean, he's always doing something, in He's always doing something interesting. He's always doing something funny. And of course, he has put pen to paper on a new deal for West Ham. Supposedly he's going to be here till he retires, which I think is really, really good news. Of course, he's our top scorer. Carried a cardboard cutout of himself and did the old dirty dancing at the stadium. Just enough, the amount of things that this guy has done at the club. I mean, I know he's been here a long time, but he is an absolute character. I tell you what, I'd absolutely love to be a fly on the wall of that dressing room, because I reckon he's a right laugh. And the podcast he does with Callum Wilson is very interesting. And mentioning that podcast, he's made quite a few comments on that podcast, which I think has got a lot of media traction. But one thing that I want to highlight is he said, I think we're going to finish higher than Liverpool this season. I'm putting it out there. We've got them this weekend, and it's a 6-pointer. So, listen, for me, I look at this two ways. Number one, he's on a podcast. He's going to say that's going to get views or controversial or something like that. He's got to. He's on a podcast. He can't just sit there and, say something that's not going to get traction. So, part of me wonders whether he says that to banter Callum Wilson, whether he says that, just because it's a podcast thing. Does he genuinely believe that? And then the other part of me thinks, do you know what? Maybe he's got a point. Maybe he has got a point, because I'd say Chelsea. I'd say that City and Arsenal are ironed on for 1 and 2. Absolutely ironed on. We won't finish above Newcastle, and I think they'll finish around sort of in the 3rd place position. That then leaves United, if you want to believe that United are going to be able to make a comeback. Tottenham, Brighton, I think there's no reason Tottenham couldn't finish above Liverpool this season, really, with how well they're playing. But, I mean, 5 games in, we're 2 points behind Liverpool. We probably had an easier run, a harder run than Liverpool. But for me, I think it's just too much of a mountain to climb. I think, with the way Tottenham are playing at the moment, I know they've had easier games, but with the way they're playing at the moment, I could see them finishing 4th or 5th. Brighton, when the Europa League games come in, I think they will probably struggle a fair bit. Arsenal, City, I think, will be the top 2. Liverpool, I think they'll probably crash out the Champions League early. So, again, I think they'll probably do quite well. United, I think, when they get some players back, could do quite well. And, of course, Chelsea as well, I think, could do quite well when they actually get some players back. Newcastle, 5 games, 6 points. I think they will eventually make a comeback. They've had quite a tough start to the season. But in terms of whether this is a 6-pointer or not, I think it's quite bold, from Antonio. And to be fair, I think that's probably what we need in this squad. I think a lot of the time it's negative comments. I mean, you look at the United players and, when they lose, they always come out with this AI-generated sort of rinse and repeat. Oh, we go again next week. Oh, we'll do it again next week. Oh, yeah, we'll be back next week. And you sort of think, be real, like have a little bit of like humanity to you. It's just PR. There's nothing actually real coming out of you there. So, when you see players like Antonio come out and say, do you know what? I think we can beat Liverpool. I think we can, play better than Liverpool. I think that we can go higher than Liverpool. Yeah, part of you would be like, oh, come on, mate. We both know that's not true. And then part of you think, do you know what? Why not? Why can't we finish higher than Liverpool? Why can't we? Why isn't that our aim this season? We're not on Arsenal's level. We're not on City's level, in my opinion. I think they're just a cut above the rest. But there's no reason that we can't beat Liverpool and finish higher than Liverpool. Who knows where they're going to finish this season? The thing is about that statement is it's very ambiguous, because if Antonio thinks that Liverpool are going to finish 5th, then he thinks we're going to get a Champions League spot and finish above Liverpool. If he thinks they're going to finish 8th and we're going to finish 7th, well, then that's not really that much of it's not that crazy, is it, for us to finish 7th? So that's the issue with saying, oh, we're going to finish higher than Liverpool, is we don't actually know where he thinks Liverpool are going to finish. Because if he thinks they're going to finish like 15th, we finish 14th, like I said, that's not really a big achievement, is it? But if he thinks they're going to finish 2nd, he thinks we're going to win the league. So, whether he's just discounting Liverpool or whether he's just overhyping what we're doing, I'm not entirely sure. But I will say that the culture at the club at the moment, I think, is really, really good. You get players coming out like Areola talking about togetherness, talking about, oh, I want to support Fabianski. Players like Emerson, talking about last year, saying that they want to do more, that they can, they'll be able to emulate a more European success. Of course, I think I've got the Emerson thing here. With Declan's exit, we brought in players like Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, and Kudus. We've really strengthened the team, and we have the mentality of starting the season strong. We need to continue that with that desire. So, realistically, I think all the comments I'm hearing out the club at the moment are very, very positive. And I think it's a little bit cheeky from Antonio, his comments, but absolutely, why not? Why shouldn't he be making those sorts of comments? We've absolutely blitzed to start the season. 5 games, 10 points. I think that's a really, really good return so far. So for me, I just think, you can look at that tweet and all the Liverpool fans are saying, "Oh, you think you're going to finish above us? Oh, get in your lane, stay in your lane," all that sort of stuff. But I think realistically, for us West Ham fans, why shouldn't you say something like that? That's the kind of stuff you want to hear your team talking about. Why can't we finish above Liverpool or Chelsea or United? I mean, we've done it before. We played really well, and there's absolutely no reason when we're in a good mood, when we're playing well like this, that we can't capitalise on that and push forward. So realistically, Antonio, he signed his new deal. He's out in the media. He's doing his business, and I think it's really, really positive from him.